10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ninja vanish!
Well, hello.
Hello, I wasn't expecting that.
It's still funny, man. It's still funny. I find it hilarious. Anyway, there's like 3 of us that find that hilarious. I don't care. I'm going to keep playing it.
I was impressed again by AliExpress. I got these in.
Oh, you got them in? Nice. Dude, you must – I think it's because you live on the East Coast. You get your stuff way quicker than I do.
Oh, I've had some where like took a month to come in, and these took a week to come in.
Because I got some stuff that I ordered – when did I order it? At least 2 weeks ago, and it still ain't here.
They are using the actual molds to make these. They're I think what they call overruns, or the factory just produces stuff from the molds without permission. But they're not putting electronics in them, so they're like really cheap. So I can get these for $20.
Oh, nice.
Which is great because now I can display one on Fortress Maximus with the head and one off. So my other one I got with my official one, I got decaled up with I got gap fillers up, screw covers and gap fillers and stuff. So I'll take one of these and put it on the head, on the Fortress Maximus, be the head, and best of both worlds. That's what I've been wanting for a long time. It's like, I was hoping Hasbro would actually be smart enough. Hey, just release this.
Yep. They won't because it makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, no background music.
Oh, God. Let me get that pulled up here. I know it's too quiet, isn't it? It's just too quiet. There we go. All right.
Oh, yeah. $240 for a pudding, baby.
A little porn music for the background. I like it.
Did you ever seen, I think it was The State, Barry and Levon? They're like, oh, yeah, they're wearing velour suits, and they're like, going, oh, yeah. We got the 240, and they had a pudding. Oh, yeah. What you gonna do with that pudding? I'm gonna put my ass in it.
As one does. All right, let's see. What do I got? I don't even know. I wasn't prepared at all. Ask Jared. I hopped in the chat like as we were supposed to start. I hopped in the chat at the last minute. I was trying to finish watch. Dude, I was because yesterday I hadn't watched season 2 of Invincible yet, so I was trying to watch it all. So I started watching last night, and I got through a couple episodes last night after the chat. And then the other 6 episodes I was watching today, and they are meaty episodes, dude. They're like almost hour long, and they're like 45 to 55-minute episodes.
Mm-hmm. And they're packing in a lot of story, too.
Yeah. So I was like, and I had to do other stuff today, too. So I'm like trying to I was watching that show up until about 15 minutes ago. I just watched the finale of it because I was trying to get everything packed in before the show tonight, and that and do other things today. So I was like running late to my own. Well, that's not unusual. Everybody knows that.
I'm willing to bet they listen to feedback since season 1 because Amber was an unlikable bitch in the first season. And he's a really good character now.
I will just say, I think just everything was better this season. Like this season was better than the first season. Yes. I liked the first season a lot.
Yeah.
But
I love the little gag too. It's like sometimes we just don't show the mouth movements to save money.
Yeah.
Huh. I never thought about that.
Just like everything across the board was better this season. And part of it is just because it is the second season. So in the first season, in the first season, the first few episodes of the first season was just all creating the world that these stories take place in. And so it was slower. It was still good, but it was slower. This just, immediately starts off and, you don't have to explain anything anymore, which is what every show should do. Not every show does that. It pisses me off when they don't. When you get a show that, you spent half the first season on the build-up and introducing the characters and introducing the plot and the concept of the show and all that. And then they just do that all over again for the second season. I hate when shows do that, and too many shows do that. It's like, okay, we don't need the first half of every season of every show to be slow and building.
That's one of the things that drives me crazy with the One Piece anime. Every episode, they waste so much time on it is recapping the previous episode.
Yeah,
You're about 10 minutes in before you even get to see the episode.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. In situations like that, just make the show shorter. You know what I mean? I don't need to spend all my time either rehashing things or,
You didn't have to worry about this one. They went straight in story nonstop.
Yeah, it was great, dude. I loved it. It is a phenomenal show. This first season was great. I loved the first season, and this was even better. So
you actually feel for the characters.
Yeah,
they did a really good job.
I'll be honest. The only thing I didn't like about the show, was in the final episode. And it's not the show itself or anything. It's just that apparently Mark is a fucking pussy. Because he freaked out way too much over having to kill a bad guy.
Well, I don't think it's more along the lines he wanted to do it. He don't want to be the Vulturemite.
Maybe. I don't know, but like it was just like.
I think it's more of an internal. I think they fleshed it out more in the comic, but it's more of an internal struggle. That the enjoyment of killing them.
Yeah, Duke, I can see you in the back. Would you like to turn your camera off before I add you? Since I know you don't like to show your face. Well, half your face anyway. Oh, I'm just gonna. I don't know. Is he back there? I don't want to pull him on screen. I don't think he knows his face can be seen. Oh, he dropped out. Anyway, maybe he'll join back when he figures it out. Yeah, that was my only issue. It wasn't like that big a deal. It was just like he spent too much time being upset that he had to kill somebody, and I'm just like,
yeah,
this is a really bad dude, and like, like he was gonna kill your mother and your brother, and like, no, you shouldn't feel bad at all for having killed him. You tried multiple times to not kill the dude, and then you had to kill the dude. Like,
well, I still think it's more along the lines where he don't want to become a Vulturemite because every other alternate timeline, Mark's evil.
Yeah, maybe if that's it, I wish they would have explained that more in the.
Well, there is going to be an arc called the Invincible War, where Langstrom comes back and he brings in all the different marks from the other universes and attack Earth, and it's all these alternate evil marks, like full-on war against the Earth.
Okay.
So he's like he's kind of like the outlier, like the that's the one that didn't actually turn evil and join his father.
I like what they're doing with, basically with everything. But I mean, I like the storyline with Nolan. Nolan, I think, was a much better character this season than he was in the first season, and I get why. Like, I understand because it's the character development he's going through from season 1 to season 2. But in the first season, like. I mean, he's a bad guy from literally the opening scene. You know what I mean? Like, that's how the show opens in episode 1 of the first season is him killing a whole bunch of other superheroes. So I think that kind of, at least for me, tainted my enjoyment of him as a character throughout the season in the first season, because I knew he was a guy that was hiding it from everybody. And you knew that everything he said was dishonest. And, so it was kind of hard to for him to have a story arc, because from the beginning of the first episode, like, you know what his story arc is going to be. You literally know the story arc for the season 1 is going to be Mark and everyone else finding out that he's a bad guy. And you can tell that instantly, and that remains kind of the mystery throughout, much of the first season. And so you really don't get to like spend any time like getting to know him as a character. You just kind of see him as ultimately this is the end goal of the first season. Like, this is where the season's going. And so this season, he actually like it's his character arc is, I mean, I assume it's not if you've read the comics, but for me, who's never read the comics, it's unpredictable. Like, you don't know what's going to go on with Nolan. You don't know where his story's going. You don't know how he's changed or anything like that. And so you just get to appreciate him as a character that you're watching throughout the first season, which you didn't really get to do in the first season, or through the second season, which you didn't get to do in the first season. But so I like that. Every character was better this season. The storylines were better this season. The action was better. Like, the bad guys were better. Like, everything was better this season. It was a great season.
And Alan got to be a badass now too. Yeah.
And
which he gets more powerful every time he's actually like basically near death.
Yeah.
He's like a Saiyan. He gets a Zenkai boost.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I love the show. It just sucks that, we've had 2.5 years between seasons. Right?
Yeah.
2.5. I hope that doesn't happen again.
I hope not, because it's at another cliffhanger at the end.
Yeah. It's like I get it or whatever, that, it can take time. But I mean, you had a first season that was
they kept working through. Yeah. Well, you had the issue with all the lockdown stuff before, but with animation, it didn't really matter that much, because you can be doing way stuff is done anymore. People working on their computers at home.
Yeah, I'm hoping that is for many reasons, lockdown stuff, whatever, and that we're not going to have that again. Much the same way, like, I hope we never have, I'm hoping House of the Dragon, for instance, gets back on track.
Yeah.
Because it's going to have been, 2 years between seasons? By the time the new season comes out in like August or September, I'm hoping that was leftover lockdown stuff, all the what do we have? We had a bunch of crap happen over the summer in Hollywood, right? And there was all kinds of
the writer strike stuff.
Yeah, all the strikes and stuff. I'm hoping they figure this stuff out, because you can't just let these shows will die.
Oh yeah,
it will bleed off viewership if you let it go too long between seasons.
Well, they already have short term. The newer audiences already have shorter term memory. So, well, you got such short attention spans now. That's why reels do so. Why all these like YouTube don't give a crap about long form videos anymore. They want shorts.
Yeah. So I don't know. I hope they fix it. I hope we get season 2 by this time next year. There's no reason they shouldn't be able to do that. Especially on a show that is, dude, I would assume a highly rated show. Like, if you go look at Rotten Tomatoes, everybody loves this show.
If they're smart, they should be still already working on season 3, because there shouldn't be anything holding it up now. I know animation takes time, but
I mean, they should have been working on it before this season even dropped, which is what most shows do.
Exactly.
They work on story outlines and scripts and everything else before a season even drops. I mean, look what fucking X-Men did.
At least it's not the wait we had with One Punch Man season 3. Was it 5-6 years?
Yeah.
Was it One Punch Man season 2? Let me look it up.
Yeah, no, there's no excuse for that. Like, for real. Like, at a certain point, it's just ridiculous. Because it just makes even people who give a crap about something just be like, all right, whatever.
Oh, the first season of One Punch Man was 2015. Second season's 2019. And now we're getting season 3 in 24.
Wow. So 10 years. 10 years to do 3 seasons.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No,
and it's a well-loved series. They don't.
No, they these shows need to pick that up. Come on. Especially when you've got a show that is loved, that people, everybody agrees, like, oh no, this is a good show. Everybody likes it. Everybody wants more of it. All that shit. No, it's unacceptable at a certain point. But
Old Lace was like, "Who is One Punch Man?" It's like, it's an anime.
It's in the name. It's literally in the name. You can figure
that
it out.
is the name of the series, One Punch Man.
Yeah.
He is a character so powerful, he can defeat basically any foe with one punch.
Yep.
And he's totally bored because he's trying to find a fight and nobody can beat him.
But speaking of animation, we did get a new episode of X-Men this week, which so far was my least favorite episode. Like, it wasn't bad.
At least they got to bring back the original voice actor for Jubilee to give her a send-off.
They did. Yeah, they did. It wasn't a bad episode or anything. It was just my least favorite.
No.
Once again,
to me, though, it's a waste of doing a two-parter on a stories. It's kind of like, meh. The Trial Magneto would have been like a good two-parter, or the Madeline Pryor been a good two-parter.
Yeah.
But no, they waste the two-parter on Jubilee and Mojo World video game and romance between Storm and Forge.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the Storm and Forge part I liked, even though that was the slower of the two. I don't care about Jubilee and Sunspot although he's not called Sunspot yet, but I don't care about them in Mojo World.
Come on, use your freaking powers. You don't
Yeah.
even use them in the video game.
Yeah. That was the least interesting part to me. I'm more interested in Storm and Forge and that kind of stuff, even though arguably, like I said, it's the slower storyline in there, but it's the better storyline. It's also pulled from the comics that I read in the 80s too, which is why I probably like it better. The Mojo stuff, I'll be honest, like I was never like I like Longshot and Dazzler but I was never like whenever they would go to Mojo World was never my favorite issues.
No,
you know what I mean?
I've never cared about Mojo World.
Yeah, like I like some of the characters that came out of it, but I never cared when they had to fight Mojo. I didn't find those episodes particularly interesting, or those issues particularly interesting, and those storylines. Like, it's fine; it's another character. Not every storyline has to be Days of Future Past or Phoenix Saga or whatever. Like, I get that, but.
Yeah.
But it was, those were some of my lesser favorite issues growing up and storylines. So that stuff, like, it was fine. It was a decent episode, but it was fine. It's like I said, like the first 3 episodes, I think were all better. Still,
I would like to see the continuation with the Sinister and Madeline Pryor stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my understanding from what I've heard leaked out is that ultimately Sinister's going to be the big bad in the show. So I'm assuming he's coming back. But I will say this, 4 episodes in, still no woke shit, which is nice. It's unusual for anything nowadays, but it's nice. I'm still liking the show. It's strong. They've made all the characters. Even Cyclops at this point, they've done really well with him in just making him, I think, a more likable character than even the original series did at this point. And the Cyclops has never been like the greatest character because he's kind of like just the straight-laced leader. He's generally speaking been a fairly one-dimensional character, except when they occasionally like make him a bad guy or something. You know what I mean? Which is always nice when they do something with him in the comics. But as far as in television and movies, he's always been a very one-dimensional character, and so I think they're doing a pretty good job, even with him, in making him a more likable character in this show. He was when I watched the first episode. He was the best character in the first episode. I know we talked about this a few weeks ago, but like just the way they had, the way they had him being much more dynamic, just in his personality and in how he used his powers and everything, what was great. I loved it. And they really don't do that much with Cyclops.
AKA the Executioner showed up in the trial of Magneto.
Yeah, well, he was in the first episode too. He just wasn't as Executioner yet. It was just
he was the leader of the mutant hate group.
Yeah, and then he shows up as Executioner in the second episode, and then they deal with him by the end of that episode.
Magneto trashes him.
Oh yeah, almost kills him, but yeah, no, I mean it's a solid show so far. If they can just keep that up and not delve into their woke nature, I think it will continue to be a good show. So,
Yeah, spoiler alert, Executioner shoots Rogue with a depowering gun.
Storm.
No, yeah, I'm sorry, Storm.
Yeah.
And that's when Storm goes off on her own. That's when she meets Forge.
Yeah.
She's on a journey, and he's trying to help her get her powers back. Because in the gunfight, she felt betrayed near the end of the episode. Spoiler: he reveals he made the prototype for the power dampeners and the gun.
Yeah. But I think they did a good job with Forge. Forge was always a character I liked. I liked him a lot in the comics. I always felt like he was one of, like, him and Beast were kind of, in their own way, the backbone of the team, because like they were the ones least likely to fight, but between their combined knowledge in science and engineering, like they were the ones that oftentimes figured out what needed to be done to handle a situation. So Forge is a great character. I like him a lot. Beast really hasn't gotten much to do in this show, by the way. Have you noticed that?
No, I don't think a little bit of technobabble here and now. I'm like, it's their permanent.
He's not really been a big part. Like, he's in the show, but he's just not. He's not a big part of the. He's certainly not really a main character in any of the storylines. He's just kind of there doing his science thing whenever it's needed for the story, which is fine. I don't have a problem with it, but he was I remember him being a much bigger part of the original series. So, although they are kind of doing the thing where they give just a couple of characters, kind of front and center each episode, so I'm sure he's going to get an episode where he gets to shine or whatever. But
they actually show a picture of Iceman on the wall in the Xavier Institute.
Yeah,
and he was actually in the original series too when they had the X-Force show up. Or X-Factor. Yeah. With Havoc and Strong Guy and all those multiple men.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. So far, so good, man. That's what I can say. So far, I'm enjoying the show. That's at least another good show that's on television right now. There's not many of them at the moment. I mean, Invincible is great. X-Men's good. There's not really any other, TV shows to talk about. Although the new Ones That Live is good. That we got I was waiting for Duke to get in here, but I guess he's not coming back. We got the season finale to the new Walking Dead show, The Ones That Live, and so 6 episodes. Rick and Michonne's story. I've been telling you guys I've liked the show. Now that the season's over, I gotta say, like, it is the best Walking Dead has been in years. Now, that is not to say, "Ooh, The Walking Dead is back," because the next show may completely suck ass. I have no idea. I can say I thoroughly loved the shit out of these 6 episodes. It is a satisfying story. For people who've been fans of the show and been waiting to see what's going on with Rick and Michonne, they get a great ending. right exactly like you would want. They leave it open that these characters are now, back in this world. The rumors coming out of the whole Walking Dead whatever is that we're going to get another season of both the Daryl show and the Negan and Maggie show, neither of which I was a big fan of. Okay, but they're both getting second seasons, and then after that, there will be either a second season of The Ones Who Live or a different show altogether where all the characters come back together again for one season to fight something. I don't know what it's going to be. Anyway,
didn't they introduce like kind of super walk zombies like during their Dicks and stuff?
Yeah, they started introducing that in that concept has been introduced in the World Beyond show, the Daryl Dixon show, and in the last season of the original Walking Dead show in season 11 or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
They started dropping in these hints, like now you've got walkers that can climb over things where they couldn't, or that can turn a doorknob, and or that are just a hell of a lot faster than they're as fast as a human. And so they started sprinkling that in, that there is some kind of evolution going on with the walkers. Like what causes it or why or anything like that, I don't know. They haven't delved too deeply into it.
It's gone so long enough where if they were just regular zombies, they should basically be turning dust.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because they're still rotting.
Yeah. So they
played it onto that for a while. They're getting softer and gooier.
Yeah, and they still do occasionally. They run across like zombies that have been like fucking sitting, next to a tree so long that the tree's grown around him, or stuff. There's been a variety of things that they've done, but they're trying to introduce more dangerous zombies, which I get makes sense from if you want to keep the story going.
Well, they're getting so used to killing regular zombies, you got to up the ante.
Oh yeah,
and if you're going to live in that world, you would get used to killing them. So.
That's the only thing I don't like about zombie shows that go on for that long is at a certain point, even if only 10% of the population survives, you know what I mean? Like all that means is that every single surviving human being, which would mostly be, let's be honest, if 10% of the population survived, it would be people of an age and ability that they could defend themselves. It wouldn't be the old people. It wouldn't be sick people. It wouldn't be people who are weak. It wouldn't be babies. Sorry to tell you that, right? It wouldn't be little kids. It would be people probably in their teens, 20s, and 30s, maybe 40s, who are strong enough to survive. If that is the demographic of the 10% that survive, all everybody needs to do is kill 10 zombies. And you've cleared everybody out. You've cleared out all the zombies in the world. Every one person that's alive needs to kill 10 zombies. And you've done your part. You know what I mean? Like, it's not... And this is one of the things, like, this is why I think they're going after that. Because at a certain point, it's like, we still got, like, there's still a zombie horde of 1 million zombies roaming through, the Pacific Northwest somewhere. It's like, how? We're now, I think at this point, the timeline for the most recent Walking Dead thing is now 14 years after. It's like 14 years after the beginning. How are there still 1 million fucking zombies walking around in one group together?
They should have been taken out easily. Like,
yeah. So like it's weird, but I think that's why they're trying to do it. But whatever they do going forward, I'm still of the mind that Walking Dead since basically like season 8 or 9.
Well, if you have a horde like that, they got this thing called napalm work really good for that.
Yeah. But like since season 8 when Rick left or whatever it was, like The Walking Dead just had gone so far downhill that I really don't have any expectations for the next thing Walking Dead that comes out. I'm just happy that we got 6 really good episodes with a good story. Like I can enjoy that for a while. You know what I mean? I don't expect everything to be good going forward.
What was it? The parody one? The Z World or Z Land?
Z Nation.
Z Nation. That's it.
Z Nation is great. I love that show.
I love that one. I actually enjoyed it more than Walking Dead because they ramped it up to 11 of the wackiness.
It was on and was coming on right at the time Walking Dead was starting to go downhill.
Yep.
And yeah, Z Nation was great. It was fun. It had great characters. I mean, it was Sci-Fi Channel, so the special effects weren't always the greatest, but they did a really good job of, doing the best they could with what they had. It had a beginning, middle, and end. It ended after season 5. I thought that was a really, really good, fun show. They didn't drag it on. They were like, okay, we're done. Let's get to the end of this story. And that was a solid show. That's a good watch. If you've never seen it, that's a good watch to go back and like just enjoy a good, fun zombie show that surprisingly occasionally does have some emotional stuff in it, even though it's kind of, sci-fi monster movie of the week style.
It's very
Sharknado.
Or Sharknado-ish sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah, but it's fun.
I watched every episode. So I just couldn't remember the name of it.
Yeah. It's fun. It's got great characters in it. It's got a good storyline. That's a good one. So, but yeah, I mean, look, if you haven't liked Walking Dead in a long time and you've either just hated the stuff you've been watching or you just walked away, at least go back and watch these 6 episodes. Like, you don't have to watch the Daryl Dixon show and all the other shit. You don't even have to watch like the last 3 or 4 seasons of The Walking Dead. You don't have to watch Fear the Walking Dead. But like, if you at any point in time ever did like The Walking Dead, like the original show, these 6 episodes I think are a must watch to finish that story out. If it, you don't have to watch anything else because most of the stuff that's come out in the last 5 years in The Walking Dead has been trash. So, I mean, yeah.
No, it's not geek related, but I did finally watch the last Grand Tour, which is James May, Jeremy Clarkson, and
which one was the last one? I forget. I've watched them all. I don't remember, but I don't remember.
They were crossing the Sahara.
Yeah,
they took it. Yep. Well, they ended up couldn't even finish it what they were going to do because a riot broke out and they were killing people or the town they were going to go to.
Yeah.
I was like, well, on that note, we're ending the show.
Yep. Yeah, that's a great show. That's one of those shows like, and this is,
it's
that I think a lot of people
will understand too.
Which is you don't have to be a car guy to love the shit out of that show.
Yep.
They make it fun and interesting, even when they're saying things that somebody who's not a car guy doesn't fucking understand at all. They make that show just so enjoyable to watch. Those 3 guys together
the original
so entertaining.
So great when they continued it on Amazon on the Grand Tour. It's just continuation of it. And it showed like how stupid the BBC was. They thought, oh, we can just get anybody cast in this show. No.
Dude,
those 3 guys.
They've tried it. They're on their 3rd American iteration of Top Gear. The original British Top Gear has gone through, I don't even know how many hosts at this point.
Mm-hmm. They even try to use like Star Power, get Matt LeBlanc to be the host. And
like, and look, and no disrespect to any of those other people that have hosted those shows or the American versions or anything else like that. But what made that show a worldwide phenomenon was those 3 guys.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the discussions. It wasn't the topics of the shows. It wasn't even the little skits that they would do. It was those 3 guys. And without those 3 guys, that show is just nowhere near as good. Like, it's still an okay show. There's still some I've watched like some of the they're on their 3rd iteration of the American version, which I've never watched any of that. I watched a few episodes of the 1st iteration from back in like 2015. I watched a few episodes of the 2nd iteration, which was like from 2018, 2019. I remember it started coming out right before the pandemic. And they were fine. You know,
I only watched the first one, the
that.
first American iteration, and it was just very. All they did was they copied some of the same stuff that Jeremy and May and Richard Hammond would all do.
Yeah,
and it was just shallow. It felt like hollow. It didn't feel natural. They were just repeating the same thing. You didn't have the car discussion like they did. They would actually sit down and discuss the cars and stuff. You didn't have that part. They were just doing all the little.
They were doing all the skits.
And not to the tier that they were doing with Clarkson, because they don't have the chemistry of those guys. Those guys are really friends.
Yeah,
they quit BBC when they fired Clarkson because you fired our friend, we're going to leave too.
Yeah. Sith for Life out in the chat says, "Have you seen Annihilation? The creatures in that one freak me out. Duke needs to watch it." I've seen that movie. I hate that movie. Have you ever seen Annihilation?
I don't think I have.
By the way, to your point, Sith for Life, the special effects are really good, and the creatures in it are really good. It's taken from this book that I've never read. Something about, and I'm gonna butcher it because I don't really know because I didn't like the movie, but like there's an area in the world somewhere that weird things are happening and creatures are mutating and people can't go into it anymore and all this stuff happens, and Oscar Isaac plays a guy who gets sent in there to try and figure out what's going on in this.
Oh, I did see that.
And he disappears, and so Natalie Portman is his wife, and then she and another team go in after him, and then like it ends with her running into a version of herself created in there. It's a weird fucking movie, and I found it, first of all, I found it boring. It bored the shit out of me. Special effects were great. The design of the creatures and everything they run into looked really good, but the story just bored the shit out of me. That's
the reason why I forgot I watched it. It was a boring movie.
Yeah, it was a really fucking boring movie. It felt like everybody in the movie was phoning it in. Like Natalie Portman had no emotion in that entire fucking movie.
Yeah. For her husband to be missing, you would think she'd have a little more emotion.
Yeah. And it was a weird ending that I didn't understand. And I know there's probably somebody out there that read the book like, well,
you see, what you don't understand is, as the book, is what it means when she sees herself is
or whatever, I'm sure. But like, I didn't get it. And I'm pretty good at figuring shit out. I grew up on science fiction. And I didn't fucking get it. And again, to have an ending that you don't understand that doesn't feel like a payoff throughout a movie that's boring, I was just like, I don't like that movie. Personally, my personal opinion, I don't like that movie. So,
yeah. Oh, just double check. You made an audience. Is there any kind of weird noise coming through? Because this is the mic I had, the camera I had upstairs that was getting the weird rattle noise that we can't hear here, but was being heard there. But I want to make sure it's not coming through the chat.
I don't hear anything. So, but then again, I couldn't hear it last time either.
Duke heard it, just which was interesting.
But have you heard? So that there's a new Superman rumor that dropped, and then on top of that rumor, then there was the assumptions that then got turned into rumors that then people were trying to say this is going to happen. And I hate to burst everybody's bubble, but this ain't going to happen. So there's the rumors which appear to be true. The original rumor that started all this is that we don't know whether it's going to be in the first movie or whether this is going to be something used for a sequel. But in the new Superman movie, the James Gunn universe, the bad guy, or at some point, whether it's the first movie or later on down the line, at some point, Ultraman's going to show up.
Yeah.
The rumor is that Ultraman in this context of this movie is not going to be from another universe. He's an alternate universe version of Superman, but he's actually going to be a clone created by Lex Luthor. Okay, so before we go any further and get into the shit that has spun off of this, let me just say that's fucking dumb, if that's true. Because that is essentially rehashing Superman 4.
Well, it's Bizarro.
Fucking Sunman clone of Superman.
Well, that's one of the origins for Bizarro. Instead of being Bizarro, but from Bizarro World and other universes, Bizarro is a clone of Superman who degrades and becomes Bizarro. Which
I don't like the idea that Bizarro is not from another universe or that Ultraman is not from another universe. I think they're no. I'm sorry. I think it's stupid. I thought it was stupid when I was a kid when I saw Superman 4 and they took a hair from the museum and made Sunman or whatever the fuck that dipshit's name was. Okay? I think it's a stupid idea. Just let Bizarro be from another universe. Just let Ultraman be from another universe. I don't like that. I think it's stupid. Lex Luthor created a clone. Fuck off. Anyway, but then this, of course, spun off into rumors that, oh, have you heard? They're signing Henry Cavill to play Ultraman. No, they're fucking not.
no,
That's not happening. I like it. Would it make it more? Would it make it something I'd be more interested in? Yes, it would. But that's not fucking happening. That was not anywhere in the original rumor or leak that came out of Warner Brothers. That is just some dude online like fucking decided to say that, and somebody else repeated it, and it repeated it, and repeated it. Henry Cavill's not coming back to this shit. I would love for him to, but at this point, that shit is done and over. I'd rather see Henry Cavill.
I doubt they could get him to come back unless it's some big, huge paycheck.
Yeah. Well, and even then, I'm more interested in the rumors that are coming out that Henry Cavill's going to Marvel than seeing him do some rehashed version of Superman again. Like, no.
Which it's already too late, but they've already race swapped them anyway. But I've seen Cavill be Wonder Man. But they're doing a Wonder Man series with a.
I mean, I think Cavill could be Wonder Man. I think Cavill would make a great Cyclops. I think Cavill would make a great Doctor Doom, honestly. Like,
Doctor Doom would be great.
You know, I think there's a lot of roles he could play. The obvious one is Captain Britain. You know, we've talked about that before. Mm-hmm. There's a lot they could do with Cavill in the MCU.
Well, with the MCU, though, that's another thing that's a rumor. Well, not rumor, but it's confirmed that they're going to have a female Silver Surfer, which is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Which is stupid as shit.
Well, what they're saying. So first of all,
it's not Norman Rad. It's the
Shal Bala or whatever her fucking name is.
It was his lover on that planet in the alternate universe. Was it the Earth X?
Yeah,
where Galactus made both Norman Rad and his lover Shal Bala, whatever her name was, both Silver Surfers.
Yes, and this is stupid. Not because they decided to use that character. That's not why it's stupid. It's stupid because they're making a Fantastic Four movie that takes place in an obscure universe that not even all comic fans have ever fucking read about, to where you have to have that version of Silver Surfer because that's the version that exists in that universe. That's what's fucking stupid about all this. Why the fuck are we doing a Fantastic Four movie in Earth X universe, whatever fucking multiverse that is?
Well, I'm sorry. Pedro Pascal is a really good actor. Horrible casting for Reed Richards. And that girl they get picked to be the Silver Surfer. I'm sorry, she's tiny, and she's got this annoying, shrill voice.
Yeah,
I think it's the only reason they picked it because all these people want to act like they're empowering. It's like, if you want to stop me, you got to kill me. That whole dub thing people do. That's her. That's her voice.
Yeah, I know her from Ozark.
Yeah,
which is a great show, and she actually does a really good job in that show playing that character.
But she's a horrible selection to be a superhero.
Yes, horrible choice. I mean, it's not her fault. I'm not one of those people that fucking.
No, it's nothing against her at all. It's just
I like her in the stuff I've seen her in. I think she's.
You know who she would have been a great casting as? Screaming Mimi.
Oh yeah, actually she would. Yeah.
Yep. Like later on, she becomes a hero, becomes Songbird.
Yeah.
What you would have like the villain, what they like to do is like have the hero perspective where they turn good or that they became villains for circumstances. They could have actually had her be Screaming Mimi, which she's kind of got the shrill thing anyway.
It's just fucking, I don't know. Why? They know that fans have been just waiting and dying for Fantastic Four to finally come. And, let's do a storyline that takes place in this obscure fucking universe where we've got different versions of the characters. Now, the only thing I can think of that might possibly, and this doesn't mean it's going to be good, but at least that might possibly excuse why they're doing this is because of Secret Wars, knowing they're going to reset the entire multiverse. Yeah. And so they are going to do a movie before that happens. So they don't want to do it in the current MCU. So they want to set the characters up. They want to get them established. They want to get them a movie before Secret Wars so that they can have Reed Richards at least, but probably all of them in Secret Wars. And then when their universe resets, you don't do another origin story. And again, that doesn't mean it's going to be a good movie or that this was a good idea, but at least that makes some kind of sense. Like, well, we need to get this Fantastic Four movie out, and it's going to come out before Secret Wars, before we reboot everything. So why not just do it in this secondary multiverse where we can tell kind of a unique story, get everybody used to the characters, and then after Secret Wars, they'll be a part of the main MCU. That, again, makes sense. It makes sense to me. I think it's stupid, but at least it makes sense from a storytelling perspective. So I don't know, but it's whatever. I mean, again, I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not one of these people that fucking, gets online and tweets, shit to actors like, you're ruining things. It's not the actor's fault.
No, it's never the actor's fault. It's the studios and the producers.
Like, I don't have a problem with this chick who they brought in. I've seen her in stuff before. I like her in the things I've seen, but
there's been so many other characters she could have played. It's like one example I gave, but there's other characters she could have played. It's been great. She's a good actress, just not a Silver Surfer.
Yep. So I don't know.
There's other female heralds too she could have played.
I mean, it's Fantastic Four. I'm gonna go watch it to see. I'm gonna judge for myself. Okay, I see all the fucking Marvel movies. I just do, even when they're not good. But
like Ghost Trav, there's already a female surfer called Nova, Frankie Ray. They could have had her introduced, which they were setting up in the original Fox movies, because they introduced Frankie Ray, but that never happened. But didn't they stopped them after the second one? But they could have had her as Frankie Ray in the military, and have her get turned into Nova in the movie.
Yep. But said we're getting this. I don't know. Again, I will reserve judgment on the final product until I see it. However, I am going to assert that this seems like a dumb fucking idea.
Yeah, Frankie Ray was a love interest for the Human Torch. So and she ended up getting powers similar to his.
So let me get this out of the way real quick. They dropped the first two episodes of the fifth and final season of STD.
Yeah. I will never call it what the fans call it. It is STD.
It's STD. Now this is a show, and I think I've been very fair to this show over the years. Okay, I'm not one of the fucking people who just hate it because it's different. Some people do. I actually liked the first two seasons of STD. I liked them for a couple reasons. I thought the first season was a good sci-fi show, although it did not feel like Star Trek. I still enjoyed it as a sci-fi show.
It was totally not Star Trek.
Season,
the Vulcans had superpowers.
Yeah. The second season felt much more like Star Trek because they brought the cast in from, Pike and Spock and everybody, who I actually really like them. And I do like their spin-off show, Strange New Worlds. Okay?
Even though it's not, that's a horrible Spock, though. I'm sorry.
Season 3 and 4 of STD were absolute dog shit. They were awful fucking seasons of television.
I don't understand because the ratings are not good for these shows. How they keep getting renewed?
I don't know, but you know, it's the final season. I've watched the first 4 seasons. I'm gonna fucking watch it, even if it sucks. So they dropped the first 2 episodes, and again, I enjoy the first 2 seasons, not as much as I should because it's Star Trek. I should enjoy it a lot more, but I enjoy them for what they are. The 3 and 4 are dog shit, and they fucking suck. So, first 2 episodes drop. First episode is actually pretty damn good. First episode is actually pretty good. They really, really tamped down a lot on all the woke shit. The woke characters. In fact, in the first 2 episodes, the woke characters are hardly in it at all. And when they are, no woke shit is going on. But the characters are still there. First episode is just straight up like space adventure action. And it was actually pretty good.
Mm.
The second episode is a lot slower. A little bit more of a character story. Mostly focused on the main character, Michael, and Saru, and Saru's, if you watched the last season, Saru and this Vulcan ambassador have like hooked up, and they're going to get married. And I do like Saru as a character. He's been the only character throughout the entire show that I have consistently liked. First of all, I like that actor, even though almost nobody knows what he really looks like because he's always in costume. I like that actor. I like Saru's character.
Who was also Silver Surfer body wise, but not. He
was Silver Surfer in that Rise of the Silver Surfer movie. So it's more of a character story with Saru. I mean, there's stuff going on in there, and the first 2 episodes are setting up this big overarching story arc that actually ties back to the progenitors from Star Trek. Was that season 2 when they introduced the progenitors? I think it was season 2. For those that didn't watch the original TNG, first of all, what the fuck is wrong with you? But second of all, the progenitors were a species that it had been discovered were who seeded the galaxy with humanoid life. And they are essentially every humanoid life form in the galaxy ties back to this one species. And they used some form of technology to seed more life like them in the galaxy millions of years ago.
It's an explanation why there are so many bipedal humanoid characters.
Yeah, it's how they explain how there's so many humanoid characters in the Star Trek galaxy. And then, of course, they died off. So this season is tying into trying to find some piece of progenitor technology that was found and hidden by the Romulan scientist, who is the same Romulan scientist from that episode of Star Trek TNG, who died like 800 years before the current, STD takes place. And they're trying to, he left a message saying, I found this technology. It can never get into the wrong hands. So this whole season is surrounding the newly reformed Federation trying to find this technology. Okay. First episode was a lot of fun. Second episode was a lot slower, not as good, but it focused on some decent character stuff. And like I said, there was no woke shit in either of these 2 episodes. Does that mean this is a good show you should watch? No, it doesn't. I want to make that very clear. I'm not saying you should watch this show. Okay? Let me make it, because I say stuff like this sometimes, and people go, oh, you like this show. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not telling you to watch the show. I'm telling you I'm watching it because I'm already invested and it's the final season. And I'm going to keep watching it. I watched it through the trash 2 seasons, 3 and 4. I'm going to watch the final season, and it may suck. However, the first 2 episodes were okay. They were okay. They were a lot better than any of the episodes in the last 2 seasons. Now, is that because the people writing the show are like, we have to do something to make people not absolutely hate this show in the final season? Probably would be my guess because of what they did with Picard season 3. Because the same thing happened with Picard. First 2 seasons, in general, kind of sucked, especially the second one. Second one is a steaming pile.
Well, they were instructed to not to make Star Trek show.
Yeah. Picard season 2 is a steaming pile of shit. And yet they did that 3rd season, and it was awesome. So I don't know if they're trying to do the same thing with this or not. I'm not going to judge it till the whole season's over. I can say, much like with Picard, they're bringing back something from TNG, in this case, the Progenitors.
Which was season 6, episode 20.
The Progenitors?
Yep.
No. There's no way in hell.
The Chase.
Season 6? It was only a 7-season run, or was it 9?
It's 7 seasons.
I remember it way earlier in the series. I must be insane. Anyway.
Season 6, episode 20, first aired April 24th, 1993.
Okay. Well, what was I saying? I don't fucking know. So they may be trying to do the same thing they were doing with Picard, which is try and save it in the end.
Yeah, Picard season 3 was good and not the best, but is so well in comparisons to seasons 1 and 2, which was actually dog shit.
Yeah.
Anything's going to be an improvement over those, which they got a lot of stuff wrong in season 3 because changelings can survive in space. When they killed off the evil changeling by throwing her in space, she froze. They don't stop changelings. Of course, these changelings didn't act like regular changelings, so. But
at least it felt like Next Generation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which was good.
And they did fix the wrong from Generations. Generations, they should have never destroyed the Galaxy class.
Yeah.
They put a lot of work in the model too before they decided to destroy. They want to. They said, well, the third act needs a more climactic ending. So they said they spent a lot of time restoring, touching up that like the big shooting model of the D class. All of a sudden, it's like, well, we're going to destroy it.
Yeah.
Which they actually did destroy their main shooting model, but they shot. But the Galaxy class, people love that ship. That's what a lot of TV shows don't understand sometimes when you go to the movie. The vehicle is a character.
Oh yeah.
People get invested in the vehicle, the ships, whatever. And when they destroyed it, it felt like a different timeline when went from the TNG series to the movies. All the characters seemed to act differently, and nobody really cared about the ship. In the show, they cared about the ship. In the movies, they never cared about the ship.
Yeah.
We got another letter in the alphabet.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. It's like that in just about everything sci-fi. Babylon 5, you care about the station. And in Star Wars, you care about the Millennium Falcon. In Doctor Who, you care about the fucking TARDIS.
Yep. But the Defiant, which in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, if I don't know, I get hesitant to say that I refuse to say that STD is good. So all I will say is the first 2 episodes didn't.
I have to agree with a lot of people. I hate those those futuristic ships where the nacelles are not even attached to the ships.
Oh, I hate that too. It looks stupid.
It looks like super sci-fi fiction. Like, how does it work? Where's the warp cores? Are the nacelles powered separately? How do you
powered by Wi-Fi?
It's like there's a reason why you have those strut systems. There's a warp core in the middle, and they're feeding power to the nacelles.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that shit works. It looks dumb as fuck.
Star Trek used to try to explain how the technology worked, which
not anymore.
Like Star Trek Picard, or the first season, they were so cheap. One of the replicators they had on the smuggler guy's ship, whatever it was, his name was a 3D printer. What you can buy out of Amazon. That was a replicator.
Yeah.
And the tables were like you can buy like picnic tables. Horrible sets.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any comments out there. Nobody's asking questions. That's okay.
It could just like STDs are never good.
No, they're not. I've been lucky to never have one.
I knew it was going to be downhill ever since they didn't catch it when they put it in the show when Michael was holding a phaser backwards, pointing at a Klingon.
Oh yeah, it was like in the first episode.
Yep, and they didn't catch that.
Yeah,
and then the horrible makeup on the Klingons, the stupid bad lifts which the blades turned inward, where you couldn't even use it. If you try to use it, then stab yourself.
Yeah.
They try explaining, it's time when the Klingons are not at war, they're pointing inward. That's why they point that way. No, a bat lift is a single weapon. It's very well established in Star Trek.
Yes, and it's an ancient weapon. It's been around the Klingon Empire for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, going back to Kahless. The bat lift is, it's fucking stupid shit. But that's
and what gets me too, like the makeup artists too. They did that sci-fi series where that makeup competition is like, they would actually like when the artists are competing, it's like you don't want a makeup that keeps the actors from being able to emote. And the makeup for those Klingons was so bad that actors couldn't even freaking talk.
Yeah, it was so overdone. They did fix it a lot for season 2 because so many people bitched about it.
Because it was awful.
It was like it still.
The Klingon look is well established. You don't need to change it.
Yeah, they still didn't do it perfectly right, but they improved it a lot in season 2. But then the Klingons were hardly in season 2, so it didn't really fucking matter. But all right, enough of Star Trek. Not that much good stuff to talk about. I did watch a movie this week that we had talked about a couple months ago, I think, but it finally came out to where I could see it. The American Society for Magical Negroes.
Oh.
This is the name of the movie. I'm not saying that. That's the name of the movie. Okay.
I know. I heard it wasn't very good.
Somebody in the chat will be like, "You said that word. That's the name of the movie." Okay.
Demonetized.
Yeah. No shit. Nowadays. So I watched this movie, and I went into this movie because like the trailers were just incredibly racist, and I went into this movie thinking, okay, so either this is going to be a really, really racist movie, or like what happens a lot of times, you have this like change in the movie where it's like, oh, by the end of the movie, the characters in the movie realize that all that shit from the beginning isn't necessary. Like, because if you watch the trailers, it's nothing but like racist shit against white people. Like literally, there's a whole scene where they're like the most dangerous animal on the planet is a white man. You know what I mean? Like that's in the trailer. And so I'm thinking, going in, I'm thinking there's at least a 50-50 chance that in this movie, this is one of those movies where the main character, who's like this new person brought into this organization, like teaches everybody else that, hey, we need to get past this old way of thinking and like, whatever. And so I want to watch the movie because I know there's like a 50-50 chance. Like the moral of the story is like, not everybody's bad. Right. So I watched the movie and no, it's just racist all the way through. Like there's no turnaround at the end where like, oh yeah, no. Like not all white people are bad. And that's old school thinking and all this shit. No. It's just straight racist through the whole fucking movie. That's what it is. It's straight up fucking racist the whole fucking movie. There's I could tell you the story. It's like the story is like there's this magical society of black people who've always we've already with the whole trope of the magical Negro, right? Like this is a movie trope. There's a society that actually exists, and their whole reason for existing is going around trying to make sure white people don't get too mad, because if they do, everybody suffers and all this shit. And when they bring a new person in, but oh no, the person he's supposed to help, he fell in love with that person's love interest. And like in the end, like he rejects it and falls in love with her anyway and decides to not become a part of this organization, blah, 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 whatever. But like never does it go back on the whole, all the racist shit throughout the whole movie. Never in the movie does it go back and say, oh, yeah, not all white people are racist. And, this society is hanging on to a time, from 100 years ago or during slavery or whatever, where we thought we had to keep white people calm so that bad things didn't happen. Guess what? Turns out that's not the world we live in anymore. None of that, which honestly would have made it a movie it would have made it a movie that had a good message.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like it would have been like, oh, there's a good message. That in the end, like, no, we don't live in that world anymore where all white people are racist. Not that we ever did live in a world where all white people are racist, but certainly we lived in a world, none of us have, but certainly at one point in time, there were a lot of white people were racist. Of course, a lot of everybody was racist, honestly. Historically speaking, everybody was fucking racist, but unfortunately. But it would have been a great moral of the story to be like, hey, here's this organization that's been around for hundreds of years, and then in the end, they realize, oh, we don't really need to do this anymore because we don't live in that society anymore, right? Like, that would have been a good moral of a story. It would have been a story that, like, got people, I think, to be less mad at each other all the fucking time. We live in such a divisive society nowadays because it seems like there are people on, all sides of the aisle that fucking get off on making sure we all fucking hate each other as much as possible. So they love to divide us at every fucking opportunity. You know what I mean? And so it would have been a good moral of the story, and they didn't do that. They just let it be fucking racist the entire goddamn movie. You leave the movie just being like, oh yeah, all white people are fucking bad and racist and pieces of shit who you have to worry about. If they get mad, bad things happen to black people. It's like, that's it. Okay. All right. Great movie. Yeah. Just fucking awesome. Like, what the fuck?
My only Mythic Legions figure.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well, I guess it's technically two. I got a horse.
Mythic Legions does make some really good figures. They're expensive as fuck for the good ones.
Yeah. But
they do make some good figures.
Like I mentioned many times, the reason I bought this, because it's Lord Pumpkin from the Ultraverse. They can say what they want to. It's Lord Pumpkin.
Yep. But anyway, so that's my review of that movie. It's racist, and which sucks because I like everybody in that movie.
I did see that Hollywood is learning. They're doing like interviews, like the cast and stuff of that Civil War movie coming out. They're talking about Nick Alterman and like stuff like that.
Yeah,
they're trying to get all the cast to say, "Oh, you're representing like his character. Your representation of Trump in the movie." He's like, we're not they've learned not to say, "Oh yes, we want to do this stuff like where it's against attack on the conservatives, wherever and stuff." It's like, you don't want division. You get like, say it's one thing or the other. It's representing this. Then you get half the people not going to go see your movie. We'll just let it be decided who is this in the movie. It'll be decided by the viewers. They've learned not to attack the fans and attack people and be political when they're doing interviews. Both Hill and Kristen Dunst turn it back on the reporters. Like, no, this is a movie. It's fiction. We're not representing anybody. It's just a story. Well, they're not going to turn around going, "Oh, you're absolutely right. It's an analogy of this and this."
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I'm going to watch it. I'm not going
to. They're starting to learn. Don't attack certain people, and those people will still go watch your movie. Yeah. It's taken a long lesson to losing billions of dollars, but they're starting to learn. Seems like.
Well, you'd think they would have learned a long fucking time ago. They're there to make money. That's what they're there to do. But
you would think otherwise. The way they act. It's like they thought they had this unlimited amount of money nest egg where they can just keep blowing money and then just keep doing it.
Yeah. Out there in the chat, Ledley says Hollywood's now making a black and white Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, I saw this. I don't care.
It's not. That's actually it's a play. It's not going to be a real movie. It's a, from my understanding, it's just going to be a play, and not to just be disparaging, but I surely wouldn't kill myself over the Juliet. If I can't.
I don't have any. Because I saw pictures and stuff, and I don't have any problem with her being black. I don't give a shit. It's Romeo and Juliet. I don't really, you know.
There's tons of beautiful black women out there.
It's just that she's
not
particularly an attractive woman.
No.
Like, I was like, okay, that's who you're gonna pick. Like, fucking Juliet. Although, I mean, to be honest, it's not like, you know, there's a long history of extremely hot women.
At first, I thought it was a movie too. I thought it was like, well, this is going to bomb. Nobody's going to go watch. You want a beautiful leading actress, but it's a play somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've only, you know, not to be like a dude, but I am. But the only pictures I've seen of her have been of her face. So maybe she's got a rocking body. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of at this point.
To quote Miss Swan from Mad TV, she look like a man.
Yeah, she's not. I'm trying not to be mean, but she's not a particularly attractive woman from the pictures I've seen of her face. You know what I mean? But
maybe we got this wrong.
But
maybe,
as
Tom Holland
playing Juliet. Acknowledge that sometimes if a girl has a not great face but a rocking body, that can save things. So I don't know.
We're not thinking progressive enough, Matt. It's like maybe Tom is Juliet.
Oh Lord. Well, either way, I'll be honest. Either way, I don't really give a shit. You know what I mean? It's Romeo and Juliet. Like,
no, it's not like it's. I was ever going to watch any kind of movie about Romeo and Juliet.
So it doesn't.
I was like, I don't want.
The only Romeo and Juliet thing I like is the one from the '90s with Leonardo DiCaprio, and even that, it's not like I love that movie or anything, but I like the soundtrack, and it's, you know, it was a cool movie for the '90s, and that's really the only Romeo and Juliet thing that I've ever really given even a little bit of a shit about. You know what I mean? So, and I don't really care about it like that much. So, yeah, I don't care. These are not, and the other thing is because these are not like every version of Romeo and Juliet has been very different. Every like movie version has been very different. We've gotten a handful of movies over the years. You know, Romeo and Juliet is the inspiration for West Side Story, where, you know, Juliet was freaking Puerto Rican, for God's sake. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really have much of a problem.
Nobody has a problem with race with the character.
Yeah,
but you know, all these hit pieces, and, you know, are going to be all these blah blah blahs. They don't like customer race.
Yeah, no.
But no, it's like,
just don't care about it because it's Romeo and Juliet. That's why.
Don't care about it, and if you're going to pick somebody to be Juliet, you usually want somebody to look like a model.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
Paper bag material.
Oh, did you see the? I don't know if you saw the trailer for Dead Boy Detectives.
No, I haven't.
So Dead Boy, I've heard of this, but it was something I never. I'll be honest. I don't even know if it's like a book or a comic, but it's Neil Gaiman wrote either a book or a comic called Dead Boy Detectives.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's getting made into a Netflix show. I guess it's part of his deal with Netflix, you know, because he did Sandman and now he's doing this. It comes out, I think, next month. The trailer dropped for it. Looks really fucking good. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. Again, I've heard the name Dead Boy Detectives in reference to Neil Gaiman. Like, I knew those things went together, right? But it's not anything I've ever, you know. My understanding of it, just from watching the trailer, is that it's about two, you know, dudes that look like, I don't know, they're like in their late teens, early 20s, who are supernatural detectives. One of whom is like really, really old because he's like dead, but he somehow came back to life. And so he's like hundreds of years old or some shit like that. Anyway, and they, you know, They're supernatural detectives. Anyway, trailer was great. Trailer looked awesome. Trailers can, of course, be deceiving. There's been many great trailers over the years that turned out to be great trailers for really stupid shit.
Oh yeah.
However, the trailer was good enough. I'm definitely going to be watching it. I'll binge watch the shit out of that when it comes out on Netflix. So, yeah, go check that out. I like Neil Gaiman, not like a lot.
Thank you, Lacey. You put the trailer in the chat.
Yeah. Like I like Neil Gaiman. I think Neil Gaiman is a good storyteller. He's a little ethereal for my taste a lot of times in his writing and storytelling, but I think he's really good at creating characters, and he's really good at creating larger plot lines in the comics and stuff that I've read. He tends to write content that tends to be a little bit longer and drawn out, and I think doesn't always translate well to movies and television because it can oftentimes come off as slow. Mm-hmm. And it is. I mean, it's one thing to read a 20-page comic book and get a little chunk of a story. It's another you sit there for 2 hours or even a 10-episode run of a series, and then you feel like half the show was just slow. You know what I mean? You can read it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference in the way you consume the story that I think it works better in comic books than it does in movies and television. Like when that Sandman came out last year, or year before, whenever that first season of Sandman, I liked it, but like I totally understood why a lot of people didn't and said it was just too slow and not enough going on in it, because there was like for 10 episodes.
And they made Constantine a woman and all this stuff. It's like very well established characters. Like all of a sudden you're going to make it a female character.
Yeah. And it was like I liked the character of Sandman, and I liked some of the, I haven't read all of Sandman or anything like that, but I'd read a lot of Sandman back in the day. I
like the actress they had to play the female Constantine, but
yeah,
Constantine's not a chick.
It's just one of those things. That's the only thing I worry about when it comes to interpreting Neil Gaiman's stories to a show like this. That's probably going to be 10-hour-long episodes. So you're talking 10 hours. Like, is it going to move at a good pace, or is it going to drag out and be slow? I don't know. Trailer looked awesome, but then again, they could be just pulling all the best, most exciting stuff from the show to make the trailer. And you're left with like, that's a 2-minute trailer, and you're left with 9 hours and 58 minutes of boring shit. I have no idea, but the trailer looked really good. So, yeah, it was cool. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope it doesn't suck. Nowadays, you can never tell. Seriously, like I feel like everything. I feel like so many things that I've seen in the last few years that I watched because they had good trailers were just nowhere near as good as the fucking trailer. Like so much content, movies and TV shows.
They end up putting all the really good stuff in the trailer, and it's like, that's it.
Uh-huh.
Where is everybody tonight?
Fuck if I know, man. I don't know. It's all right. But
I was curious what everyone else is watching.
Oh, there's a show that just dropped on Netflix this weekend too that I want to watch. Ripley dropped on Netflix, which is 8-10 episodes. I don't know. It's a retelling of the book The Talented Mr. Ripley, but more book accurate as opposed to if you've seen that Matt Damon movie from the 90s, which I do like that movie, actually. It's a good movie, but this is a more book accurate. So for those that don't know, the character of Thomas Ripley there's many books out there about his stuff. And they've done 3 movies, 2 of which I've seen. The Talented Mr. Ripley from the 90s was the first one they ever did. They did another one in the early 2000s that I've never seen because it was like a lower budget of one of the Thomas Ripley books. And then in the late 2000s, they did Ripley's Game, which I fucking love that movie. And it's Thomas Ripley when he's older. He's played by John Malkovich. It's him when he's older. And, he's done all the stuff he's done in his life. He's married. He's, rich at this point because he was really good at being, a con artist, and he murders when he has to get what he wants and all that kind of stuff. And I love that movie. The way John Malkovich plays an older Tom Ripley. I like John Malkovich a lot in just about everything he's in.
Leo Red said he's on the hub.
You're on the hub. What does that mean?
I don't know.
You're on the hub.
Red flat. Yeah.
I'm on the hub. I don't know what that means. But maybe wherever he is on the hub is why he's not here tonight. I don't know. But yeah, Ripley's Game's a great movie. I love that movie. I like the character of Thomas Ripley. He's not a good guy. He's not a good guy, but they make for really good movies and good stories. So yeah, they dropped some new series that's kind of, like I said, a retelling of that original Matt Damon movie. So I want to watch that. I'll try to watch that this week. We'll talk about it next week. See if it's any good. My wife now, because that show's out, she wants to rewatch the movies again. So
I missed it. It came out last year. I completely missed it. There's anime wise, it's on Netflix's Seven Deadly Sins, a new series of 4 Nights of the Apocalypse, and 11 episodes. I need to watch that.
The only thing I know about Seven Deadly Sins is that awful looking McFarlane figure.
Oh, yeah, the figures are terrible. The only one was kind of okay was Escanor, but I had to do a lot of work on it too, and I fixed our. I just know there's this one figure. I don't know which character it is. That is just, he looks ridiculous. His torso is like 7 feet tall. That's Escanor. That's actually accurate for the character. It is. He hulks out. His power is to dictate to the height of the sun. He's the strongest at 12 noon. But he goes from like a little wimpy dude at night, then he goes to hulks out.
Okay.
Very arrogant. And when he first transforms, basically what the figure he made is when he first transforms. He is kind of like his smallest form, where he's kind of mid-transformation type thing.
Okay.
He gets like as big as the Hulk type thing.
I mean, yeah, okay. Yeah,
he should have done Escort in his what they call the one mode, when he's nothing stronger than him. He's the one at 12 high noon.
Yeah, okay. But, yeah, I've heard of it, but I don't know. I don't know much about it.
He's a great character, but yeah, he's super arrogant when he's fighting us. He's the lion sin of pride. I am Escanor. Why should I look down upon someone weaker than me?
Wow. Let's see.
His fights are kind of like rope-a-dope too. Things like you think Escanor lost is like, no, he was just not fighting back.
Jen out there in the chat says, "Did you ever listen to the Alien 3 audio drama based on the comics version of Alien 3 with Lance Henriksen and Michael Bain voicing?" No. Never heard of it.
Alien 3 sucked. The movie wise.
Oh God, it's such yeah.
Well, let's have the alien, but from a Rottweiler.
It's just. I mean, I will say the director's cut is better than the theatrical release, but still, it's the decisions they made in that movie to
they killed off all the main characters, except for Ripley.
It's just a bad story.
JK was saying the comic version was fun. It's like anything would be better than what they gave us. It was terrible.
Yeah, I haven't. I've got that. I've got the Blu-ray set of those Alien movies. I can't remember the last time I watched that one.
The fourth one though,
I liked the fourth one.
I didn't mind it. I liked it.
I mean, it's not as good as the first two, but it was still a enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
I enjoy that movie. It's
you could totally see the government trying to clone those creatures to bring them back.
Yeah, totally.
Use them as weapons.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's an enjoyable movie. It's a fun movie. It's got good action in it. It's got aliens, Ripley. Like I think it's a solid entry, even if it's like it's better than Aliens 3. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
In fact, I'll go so far as to say, and this will offend a lot of people, I'm not saying it's better, but I'm saying I enjoy watching it more than I do the original Aliens.
Well, Alien, the fourth one.
Yeah, the fourth one. I enjoy watching that movie more. The original Aliens, and I don't know how many people have gone back and watched it recently. Like, we all grew up with it. I don't know if you've watched it recently. It is a movie I occasionally go back and watch. I remember I watched it because my daughter had never seen it. My daughter had never seen it. So we watched it probably, I don't know, 3 months ago, give or take. Right? It was sometime after Christmas. And I will say, great movie, but really, really, really fucking slow. It's a really long, slow movie that doesn't really pick up until the third act. Like, you could totally take that movie and shorten it to like 90 minutes and make it a much better movie than it is at slightly over 2 hours. So for the sheer enjoyment of watching a movie, I'd honestly rather watch Aliens 4 than the first one.
Now here's a little something a lot of people may not know. People in the Transformers world know. Aliens, the second one, they use a Transformer toy as a prop. They use Shockwave as a prop on the bridge.
Oh, really?
Yep.
He could have just been a gun in the movie.
Well, he was like part of a sensor thing hanging off from up in the bridge.
Yeah.
And I'll send a private chat here. Oh, I forgot. I got to do this. Keiko. I forgot I set the avatar on his computer.
I don't know what avatar I have on mine. Oh, yeah, this one. Okay.
Keiko O'Brien. I'm sorry. Keiko O'Brien.
Oh, yeah, that's totally Shockwave, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, man, it works. That's cool. I'm still waiting for my Shockwave to arrive. That's one of the things I ordered from AliExpress.
I guess we probably could share
a Voltron, a Shockwave, and a Deathstroke. I'm hoping they get here this week.
I was just shocked how fast they got that stuff from AliExpress this time.
I know as of Thursday, my stuff from AliExpress is in the country. Like it arrived on Thursday. Like it showed that it's actually in the United States, but it's coming from California.
There's my Venom.
Nice.
I got this for a heck of a deal. I got it for $17.08. No, $19.08 ship.
There's so much good shit on AliExpress, and like I've gotten like there's been
another
nothing bad from AliExpress. Like almost everything I've gotten has been really fucking good.
I saw there's a SH knockoff of the SH Figure Arts Into the Spider-Verse Spider-Man 2099 now, and I heard it's really good.
Oh, I might have to pick that up because I've got a bunch of those Spider-Verse figures. I've got the Miles from both movies. I've got Gwen. I've got Peter B. Parker. I've got like 4 or 5 of them.
Oh, and AliExpress is running a deal right now. Everything's free shipping.
Oh, nice. I love AliExpress, man.
Yep.
And I know some people look on it like, oh, you get the original.
This, and I bought 2 of these and this, all free shipping. And if a lot of times you find it too, they're doing deals. If you buy multiple things, they give you discounts.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be from the same vendor.
Yeah.
I just went blurry.
Yeah, I love that place, man. I order shit from there probably about once a month. I'll pick up a couple things that are cheap because I'm on their email list and they send me shit whenever. Oh, this just went on sale for $3, and it's like something that's normally $20 or something. It's like, fuck yeah, I'll pick up a couple of those or pick up this or that. Like I said, I got the Voltron coming, I got the Shockwave coming, and Deathstroke, the Revoltech Deathstroke. That's what it is. Yeah, the Revoltech Deathstroke.
What gets me, the backing cards are better than what they're on this knockoff figure. are better than what Mattel uses on their He-Man stuff. This is like double carded thick stuff. It don't bend.
Yeah, you want it to be strong and thick and not bend.
Yeah, you want it to really like.
All right.
You can tell where it's glued, it's like misaligned here. Where it's but it's a KO. I don't care.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
But it's like better quality though than a lot of factory stuff.
Yep.
And a lot anymore too, where these knockoffs come from, is like this right here. This came from Hasbro molds. This is I looked at it. This is the same thing as my official one. Only difference is I can see like they didn't clean the sprue marks up as well, but the quality of the sculpt is. I mean, the parts are exactly the same. There's no molded degradation. Used to be back in the day, KOs were made of making scans or copies of the official figure, but no, now the factory's just we got these sitting here. Let's make these and throw them up on AliExpress.
Yeah.
They just didn't put the electronics in this, and so they made a cheaper version, which fine with me.
Yeah. Yep, a lot of good shit there, man.
No Japanese words at me.
I'm telling you, it's a great way to fucking pad out your collection with stuff that you normally wouldn't get.
Oh, I was looking at the Kit Bash Customs one showing at the SH Figure Arts Spider-Man 2099, and he said it's great. Don't sleep on it, and before people start buying it, figure out it's good, and they'll jack the price of it on.
Yeah. I'll have to pick one of those up. I'll check that out. I knew they were coming out with one. I just hadn't seen it on my weekly peruse of AliExpress. So, because every time I go on there, like I'll go on there to look for one thing, and then I end up with a cart full of like 5 things because there's so much cheap shit there. Every fucking time, man. So,
no, but Chet don't know. I finished up the Thor Buster. I can go grab it.
Yep, it looks phenomenal.
Knocking figures over.
Got some dominoes going on. Oh. He fell. He's fallen and he can't get up. That's what happened.
It's on the other side of the room.
Oh, look at that.
Lots of gold. I went through about a bottle and a half of gold paint.
Damn, it looks so good. How much of that did you have to remold yourself? Because I know you like did the abs and everything.
Well, you had spikes on all throughout the arms and the sides of the body. Completely smoothed out the upper torso, reshaped it. Changed out the shoulders. These are actually Crimson Dynamo shoulders from this figure. Completely resculpted the waist section, chest, cut off, smoothed down the arms and legs, all the spikes. Sculpted the ab section through here, all the lines on the hips, and the little reactor things on the legs, on the hands. And re-sculpted the face. A lot of work on that one.
That looks good.
Turned out nice.
I got my Ghost Rider chain in.
Oh, yeah?
It's not 3mm chain.
Oh, it's tiny.
Yeah, I know. I had to reorder some from a different seller because this was supposed to be 3mm chain. That's not 3mm chain.
No.
Of course, this whole spool was only like $4, so I'm not even bothering to return it. Like, whatever. But I'll use it for something maybe.
I need to make sure to order it. I ordered the unofficial pit figure, basically the one without the chains and the gear, because the soft goods on the figure look awful. They're just dreadfully bad. But the heads were like not pit. They were changed enough where they get around the legal issues. But another company is turning around making heads that are pit heads for it. Let me pull it up here. I'll send it to you. Okay, toys. That is not what I want it to go to.
Yeah, stay off of Pornhub.
I went to 5K Toys website instead of their Instagram. I'm going to send it to you.
I'll just share it.
No. I can do that. Share. And we got pit heads for these.
Oh, nice.
Those are straight up pit heads. They're doing it for the red ones and the gray ones. And I'm getting this one with all this stuff because it's like $50 cheaper. And I will ask my really good friend Don that I'm making this for. Hey, can you make pants and a jacket for this?
Yep.
And I'll just mail it straight to him. And then buy chain.
Just make sure you order from the right people and get the right size.
Yeah.
Oh, like, what the fuck? This was listed as 3mm chain, dude. No.
$15 for the heads.
I don't think that's even 1mm chain.
You get both these heads, both the gritted teeth and snarling, yelling face for $15.
Yeah.
Go with the pit body. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, it looks good.
$48 for the bear figure on 5K Toys. $78 for the ones with the clothing, but the gear just looks so bad. The soft goods. And why does he need swords? Pit don't use swords. Or daggers or knives or whatever you want to call them. Just buy the base figure. And you know that people are going to start making custom soft goods for this like crazy. Now, that's the only thing I didn't like about this, because that's not pit. You got a sliced off nose and you got elf ears. Or vampire ears, what do you want to call them?
Yeah, it's a great looking figure, though.
Yep. Proportions, build of it looks great.
Yep, they did a good job. I dig it. I dig it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it is that time of day. It's time to bid everyone farewell. Say adieu. And for me to go eat dinner because I'm starving. So
I had steak tonight.
I haven't eaten nothing today. I'm bad about that. I do that shit all the time. I'll go like fucking all day without eating. And then by the time I'm in the middle of doing a show or something, I'm like starving to death. But
I'm working on cutting back right now. It's like this. the blood sugar medicine I take actually like keeps me from getting hungry. I've been eating just out of force of habit because I'm used to eating at certain times, and I'm realized I need to stop because I'm not even hungry. I'm eating.
Yeah. Dude, nowadays, dude, people are taking all that shit, all that blood sugar medication and diabetes medication specifically for dieting.
Yeah. Well, it's actually making it hard to get for people who actually have or blood sugar issues.
All those medications you got, like Mounjaro and Ozempic and Wegovy and all these things that were created for people with blood sugar issues or diabetics. Like everybody else is swarming them and buying them because it's diet medication, basically. But
yeah,
I know this because I work at an insurance company. So yeah, so one of the things I deal with all the time. Anyway, all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. We'll see you guys next time. Be back on the NEA channel on Monday. We'll be back here on this channel on Friday and Saturday next week on Collector Fusion and more Week in Geek. Jared's got his chat over on Collector Express tomorrow. Got Work in Progress. Whip it out. That's what you need to change the name to.
You must whip it.
Whip it out. But anyway. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. We'll see you guys next time. Have fun. Later, guys. Take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm going to enjoy the shit out of my weekend because I got a 3-day weekend. So I don't have to work on Monday. So I'm very, very excited about that. So I'm in a pretty damn good mood. But I'm going to go. I don't know what I'm going to eat. I think I'm going to make some tacos. I haven't made tacos in a while. So I'm going to go make some tacos. That's what I'm going to do. So, yeah. We'll see you guys next time. Later, guys.